This quick inspirational video is using the radial filter and the gradient filter with range masking. Now I've developed this photograph already, and I'm going to choose my radial, and if my sliders are not at the 0 setting, I'm going to double click the word effect to set them all back to that neutral setting. And I'm going to make sure invert is selected. Notice that the range mask is currently off. I'm now going to click and drag up and out to draw a large loose radial gradient over my statue. This red indicates my mask, and that's the area that would be affected. I don't want to affect the sky, I only want to affect the statue. So now that range mask is available, I'm going to choose color. And I'm going to pick the eyedropper. And with the eyedropper selected, I'm going to pick a range of the gold tones in the statue and release. I don't see any changes. And so after I dock the eyedropper, I'm going to hold down the Option key or Alt key on a PC and drag my slider left and right to adjust this mask until I have as much black as possible in the background that I don't want to change, and enough white in the foreground so that I have an area that will be affected by my sliders. And look at how perfect that mask is. Now I can adjust my sliders to adjust only my statue. I'm going to open up my shadows, and I'm going to bring my exposure up just a touch. And I could use hue here to make this more golden, but I find that the temperature slider is more effective, and I can move that over and make that a little bit more golden. I'll bring it over all the way over to 100 so you can see, but now I'm going to bring it back down to around 20, 25 so that I have a nice golden statue. Now I'm going to choose the gradient filter. And again, I'm making sure that all my sliders are in the neutral position, and I'm going to take my range mask. Oh, look, my range mask is off. So I have to first draw a gradient. I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and I'm going to draw my gradient right at the very bottom, because that's going to cover my entire image instead of creating a gradient over part of my image. Now my range mask is available. I'm going to choose color again, and now I have an eyedropper. I'm going to select just a range of tone here, my clouds and my blue sky. And again, I have to hold down my Option key or Alt on a PC and drag my slider left and right. And now the white area is the area that will be affected by my slider, and the black area will not be affected by my sliders. I'm going to release my mouse click, and now that I know what my mask is, and I redock my eyedropper, I can adjust these sliders. Now I'd like to bring my highlights down to get a little more detail in the sky, and bring my texture and clarity up a little bit to give more detail to the clouds even more. And finally, I want to make the sky bluer. Again, I could use hue, but I'm going to just go up here and choose the temperature slider to make the sky bluer. And that is how I use the range mask with the radial and the gradient filters in Lightroom.